Okay, the final hour, 23 hours down. The final hour, which is, as tradition has it, is an hour for sharing and rounding off and talking about the things yeah, the things that clicked for us. And as always, like there's lots of new connections being made because it's a connectathon. I think I've never taken as many notes as I have on a connectathon as I have this time. It's like I was like a few notes, and now it's like it's it's going to take like half a book already. So for me, it's been absolutely fantastic. And but I would like to hand over the talking stick to our master of ceremony, Alexander, and I'll just be back up from now on.
Yeah, back up. Uh-huh. Oh my goodness, what a ride. How many people here have been in this Connectathon, which is a 24-hour event, for over 18 hours? Raise your hand. Oh my God, we have had people for over 18 hours in this Connectathon who are still with us right now. Well, I just want to say you're insane. But that's great. Welcome and thank you for being with us like this. This is awesome. Um, we have covered so much territory, so much lands of the heart. So, and I'm wearing the shirt. I'm wearing the shirt today. The one is disappearing in the background. One love. Now, this is it, right? With the colors of Africa. All right. Um, so we are now in this last hour of this celebration, which happens every 6 months. It should happen every day. It should happen every minute. So hopefully we can take this beautiful sensing of hope, of love, of regenerative possibility. And you know what makes this all possible? It sounds trite. It sounds kind of silly. Each of you. No, but it's us. It is us. It doesn't happen without us, right? I mean, sure, the equinox happens, right? But it's what the beauty, this power, this what we sense. I don't know if you're feeling something, but for me, there's a sense of I'm not alone. I am not alone. And when I look around and the days in between, and I see the newscasts and I see the things that are bombarding my psyche from social media and all sorts of directions, it's sometimes feels really alone, even though I feel constantly bombarded. I feel alone. But this connectathon, maybe that's exactly what it is. It is about the antidote to aloneness, but not in the sense of just having some people we can hold hands with. The Connectathon is a co-creative event. So I'm going to get off my soapbox in a moment here, but I want to share the love and I wanted to share a few reflections of my own. And then I want to use most of the time here to get the reflections that we have here as we reflect, really reflect each other's, I don't know what, we can reflect ideas, we can reflect experiences, we can reflect on things that we have and been enriched by. So we'll do a little bit of that toward the end, depending on how things are going. There's a process, I'll already give you a heads up on that, and I'll put it in the chat in a bit, called check plus delta. And in that, the check is something that you learned during this time, something like of note that like, wow, I'm okay. I'm gonna see if I can incorporate that into whatever I'm doing and doing. And then something that you experienced, the plus. The check is what you learned. The plus is what did you experience that just that is going to be part of your memories. And you're going to take this memory of this experience. It's going to live in you and It's going to warm your cockles. I have no idea what those are, and I don't want to even go there, but okay, it's going to do that, a good time. And then there is the delta, something that you would change, either about your city, um, uh, your community, yourself, this connectathon, uh, something you would change that you would like. And if you can commit to that change, awesome. Or you can just be something you'd like to see change as an ideal. So we'll do the check plus delta in a bit, and I'll put that into the chat. But before I put down the mic and pass it around, um, one of the well, oh gosh, I'm going to jump into one of the things I'm taking forward with this is that the future, which is now, asks us to lead with the heart. It's this thing we've said, and people and wise leaders have told us this again and again, but this is what you have been saying throughout this Connectathon. Often we'll come back with new platforms, new technologies, new procedures, new innovation. Well, an innovation should be new by definition, but the point is, when we remember that we're leading with the heart, I think that is fundamental. Indeed, is something that Michael, who is also leading with the left and right, and everyone's here. Hello, my friend with Michael. Um, that we talked about the difference between sustainability and thrivability. And Tom Comfort was talking about this also earlier in the last session. But sustainability is necessary but not sufficient. In the final analysis, sustainability has a sterility to it because it's about living within the carrying capacity of our environment, even our entire planet. Where's the sacredness? Where's the joy? Where are those aspects of what it means to be human? Where's the laughter? Where's the celebration of life? Sustainability doesn't call for those things, but I think we do. And I think humans do. So moving to things like thrivability, we can bring in the head, heart, and hands, and we bring in, you put your left foot in, you put your left, and you turn your body around. This is the way we do the hokey pokey. This is what it's all about, right? So, but you got to put your whole self in to do this. And that's more than just figuring out the carrying capacity of our environment and seeking to reduce our ecological footprint. A wonderful colleague, Catherine Bottrell from Australia, has the framework of the positive handprint to go along with the ecological footprint. The ecological footprint measures all the damage we're doing and tries to reduce that. But the positive handprint is everything that you touch that grows, that is inspired, that creates more positive potential for the future. So we have to think about positive handprints and a lot, because the future is not going to be reached, which is now, by looking in the rearview mirror, right? By looking at, okay, what damage are we doing and how can we, just fix where we've been coming from. But it means like, how can we dream forward? And I said this in the very opening part of the Connectathon, referring to this work of Elena Garro from Mexico. Her book has a wonderful title, and I must confess that I just like the title. I haven't yet read the book, but the title is Recuerdos del Porvenir, Memories of Things Yet to Come. Memories of things yet to come. And we have that. We share it, and we can remind each other. And this is what the Connectathon, I think, does a lot. Reminds each other. So no one of us is as smart as all of us. This is what we're finding here, right? This is what we're knowing here. We know that in our heart, right? But only when we listen with our hearts to each other and not try to celebrate this very Western framing of strident individualism and self-righteous independence. But when we realize all is one, as Glenn Appreciate Perry, who is not here right now, but Glenn was with us, said some wonderful things as well in the earlier parts about love. And that's what it comes down to. So how do we leverage, as Ferial was asking us, how do we leverage this in terms of our collective intelligence? I think it starts with our heightening, practicing, listening into, and developing further our empathetic intelligence, our capacity to listen, our capacity to care, not just for other humans, for each other and for our place, but also for future generations, remembering that we are ancestors in training, we are future ancestors now, right? And so empathetic intelligence. And then we combine that with a precursor to collective intelligence, which is connective intelligence. Who are we connecting with? What resources are we connecting? What data are we connecting with? What information? Because some of it's not very helpful. And we have all the wonderful hallucinations that we can get, not just from each other, but now from artificial intelligence as well. So more hallucinations. So what are we connecting with? And how do we trust? Another thing that came out of our many, from what we just now did with Ferial to the previous hours, trust, love, trust. These are powerful things. So we have a couple of rituals that we will still be doing here before this hour ends, but I have waxed on for a bit, and I'm going to bounce a little bit here, ping pong. Some of traditionally the ones who help with these rituals, Tim and Violetta, um, and Susie and Stella, who have been very involved with the ritual components as well. So maybe we can bring in and Michael and company. Oh my gosh. Just a reminder, just a reminder why we're here, um, for the future generations of all beings. So this is the moment of celebration as well. So I'm just gonna do my little celebratory thing here, and then we're gonna all do celebratory things. But here we go. This is me. Yeah. Okay, cool. And before I pass this, then I'm gonna ping pong this Violetta first, and then back to Tim, and then we'll also get Susie and Stella, and then we'll open this up and see what if people gain from this. Before I do that, I want to share you one last little quote. If anything we take forward here, putting into this chat, well, I love this expression from Bertrand Russell and Albert Einstein. This is 1955. So, you know, it's a while ago. And they admonished, they said, hey, remember your humanity and forget the rest. And this is like, these are scientists and deep thinkers, right? And they're not saying, hey, go for ignorance. They're not saying that. When they say forget the rest, they don't say go ignorant, but they're saying when it comes down to it, the bottom line is remember your humanity. So we started at the very beginning of the Connectathon with this little question that we were weaving, saying, when you come to the question of what should I do, what's important, to ask yourself, what would love do? And just to wait. What would love do? Wait for an answer. Just wait. And it'll come. It might not come immediately. It might even come only next week, but it'll be there. If you really listen, not with your head, but with your heart, because you can only hear the answer to what would love do when you're listening with the ears of the heart. So now, as we move into our explorations, celebrations, our bringing it all together, Violetta.
Thank you, Alexander. This time I was present only at half of the sessions, but I have to say they were deeply inspiring, and it's lovely to see how we collectively grow, even though the group is dynamically changing. People are coming and leaving and reappearing again, but overall we grow together, and we don't shy away from emotional sharing and deep understandings, vulnerability, and always there is hope. So if I have to pick up few words that stick with me from those sessions, definitely above everything is communities. Uh, Communities on all different level, but especially local communities that are now so rich with experiences, knowledge, wisdoms, and remembering. That is definitely one word that's been used several times. Holding space for each other in order to be who we truly are and evolve into our potentials. And listen while we collaborate. And here is was an interesting comment that actually applies then when I think about to everything is we do have a bit of a duty here to educate those that make decisions in our name, especially in institutional frameworks. That especially came through in an AI discussion when so many decisions are made by people who have no clue what they're deciding on. And it's in a bit responsibility from all of us. If we want to build the future we are talking about here, there is responsibility as well to soften the edges with the current establishment and try to seed seeds in those ecosystems as well. Another message that really got deep and just reinforced everything also that eco-civilization stands for is that there is so much wisdom in ancient knowledge. So we are really invited to listen to the stories that survived all atrocities, empires, ups and downs of civilizations. They're still sticking around. And today, when these storytellings were going on, I listened with the curiosity of a leader. And there was so much leadership wisdom in them. There was so much collaborative models in them. There was so much, such a clarity in doing what is really needed, and then show a vulnerability towards failure, but at the same time, an enormous wisdom in readjusting your life to what life brings forward on your path. And storytellers were really inspiring in that way. And at the end, I'd just like to say that something that is just recently became the new language is already embedded in the past. So it's even more, we're even stronger invited to remember because the coherence, the need for coherence between human life and the wider systems like nature, cosmos, or community, it's been always there. And that will not happen only by the heart energy. We are invited to connect heart and soul with our minds because heart and souls see sustainability and regenerative frameworks and long-term vision. But mind is the one who delivers. So mind needs to be educated by heart and soul as well. And through our discussions, that became very apparent. So thank you.
I'm going to pop into the chat a little image just on that Violetta. I just found it and I'll put it in the chat. But in the meantime, Tim.
Yes, thank you. No, for every connect, and you're like, oh, that's so much work, and how's people going to show up, and then after reconnecting that, wow, that was transformative. So many new ideas. I know, Susie, trust the process. It's all going to work out. The people who need to arrive are going to arrive. But it was wonderful. I love the work that you and Kim put into starting us off with this focus of the heart and the storytelling. And it felt like that storytelling kept coming back more and stronger. And even like the sessions we had early morning for us felt like they were telling the story of now. and then we delve into stories of the past and stories of the future. And I feel more and more that Connectathon is this living storytelling event about uh, the story of the future that could be, the story of our memory of the things yet to come. Uh, it's been and quite profound things pop up when you're not expecting him. I'm making light of the oligarchs, and I'm re reminded that they're also human. They're not others. We shouldn't be fighting them. We should be embracing them and like bringing them this that they are standing on and pulling everybody else or all of us towards. Um, oh, sorry. Is my sound breaking up? That's good. Yeah, no, a little bit, but I'll round off. So it was yeah, it was very, very powerful and very grounding. And as I said, I have like a lot of things to process and integrate, and I'm already looking forward to the next Connectathon, but definitely want to get a little bit of rest in between now and then. Alexander, let me hand back to you.
Thank you, Tim. And yes, we could understand you. Well, as well as we could anytime understand you. But yes, um, we love you, Tim. All right, cool. Let's hear then from our ritual keepers and beauty holders, Stella and Susie.
Yeah. It has been such an inspiration to hear myself outside of myself, to see myself outside of myself, and to feel my heart beat as if we were all singing a song together. I don't know that I can say any more than has already been said. And I too, Tim, I already have 6 notebooks, good Lord. um, yeah, I have incredible, I am incredibly inspired. That's all I have to say. I'm so looking forward to the next one. Where do I sign up? Well, Tim, we did it. Kimberly, we did it. Alexander, we did it. Violetta, we did it. And breathe. It's really beautiful. And yeah, there's come a long way from 4 years ago. Like, Ferial, you invited me into this space. And that's how it started. And we're still going. And we're still here. And as Stella said, I'm so proud of everything outside of myself that has come together. And I love the stories we're telling of what is now, because we are here. We are the hope. We are the future right now. It's happening. And it's real. Training. Oh, what a jam. I think the most beautiful thing of witnessing this emerge and this manifest, we set a powerful intention right at the beginning, and we never wavered. We trusted ourselves, and showing up each week, we trusted and trusted and trusted ourselves, and it was created. Today has been created. And that is the recipe, is to look at oneself in the mirror and all the things of empathy and compassion and gentleness. And I love one we had of self-harmonizing, the power of being that to self first. And that is what we are, the ripple we give to the world, the healing we give to the world, and all of this delicious creation and ideas and co-creative magnetic vibes all come through. We open the doors to exactly who we're meant to work with, who we're meant to play with. It's no longer work. We're born for these times. We're born for these roles. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see this playground. It's a sacred playground that we are living on and experiencing, to find our inner child again, that creator, that innocence. That's the juice. That's who we are. And I'm really excited that when you do come to the forest in South Africa one day in Hogesback, you get to really play with you as the child and nature. And that's been one very big take of the clarity of the speaking of nature, nature's connection to us, that we are not separate. It's not woo, it's real. And it's really beautiful. And the nervous systems, when we come together, I've always said, I see us coming together. It's like a hub. We collect all this information. We recalibrate all our coding. We feel the love just gets bigger and moves through. It's always the weave, that thread of love through all of us that just grounds into, okay, I am on the right path. And yes, I can do this. And yes, I can trust the flow now. Because every single one of us has been put on this planet with a purpose to bring in the new through us. And it starts with self. Remember that kindness. Remember that love story of the Kasala. Like it is the self-love story that we overflow and are able to serve and are able to change this world. One beat of love at a time. And I'm really it's a privilege to be amongst these fellow travelers in this moment. I'm really excited for what is unfolding. I'm so super excited for the next Connectathon. But until then, there is work to be done. There is work to be done in our play. This must be play. If it's hard, get back to self-harmonizing, get back to the earth, get back to the rhythm of now. Just slow down. Slow down. And when you slow down, everything disintegrates that's not meant to be. And the address that we hold, this love that we are, is right here. And the channel opens and the beings come. This magnetic field that we have brings everything that is aligned for us. And we are in a new world. It is us. We are leading by trusting ourselves. And coming together like this, the ripple that has gone out, the inspiration, the acknowledgement of I'm okay and I'm not alone is real. We are here. It is real. I wrote down here, just keep showing up. You show up for yourself. You lead thy ship self. You show up for community, with communication of self. And it just comes together. We've all had that vision of the new world. We all have it here. We have the feeling now, the groundedness of, oh my gosh, it's actually happening. We're going forward. We're creators. Nothing behind. We create with love now. And it's easy. The nervous system is just wanting to receive ease. So trust yourselves. And yeah, I really trust. I trusted this would come together. Kimberly, thank you. Rupin, thank you. I could never do this out without you, Kim. You're my sidekick in this, and I am so grateful for what you have brought to this Connectathon. Like, thank you. It's an honor to work with you, and I'm excited for future projects. So that's me from Hogsback. Thank you.
Stella and Susie out.
Thank you so much. So much love. And Kim is I think much more than a sidekick. She's a front kick. I'm sorry, not a kick, not a kick. Sorry, I do the martial arts. So hey,
Don't kick.
I know it's. I'm sorry. I do the martial arts. So there we go. I gotta speak that language. But now hug. Kim is and this is a nice thing, by the way. It's the difference between the gesture that we have in response to challenge and change. Is it to brace ourselves or to embrace each other? So both of these are very different bracings, right? Do we embrace or do we brace against, right? And so, him is just brings the embrace, is the embrace. All right, enough gushing, guys. Let's. I want to focus on something that we opened the Connectathon with as well, which is the inspiration from Ilya Prigogine. Remember the Nobel laureate who talked about islands of coherence. And this is something I think that we have been doing throughout our Connectathons, connecting the islands of coherence. And we're finding and discovering, I am, this much greater land. And that we, by connecting the islands of coherence and finding our ways to be able to hop from island to island, we are emerging a whole new land. And again, to connect what the Nobel laureate in chemistry and in nonlinear thermodynamics, this Ilya Prigogine, with the great poet John Donne, we are no man is an island, and we are all connected in the deep. So in that sense, we are raising this land from the deep. And I think this is what living systems, thinkers, doers, beers do. We connect living systems. And we do that through the heart. So I love this also this expression that we were just now talking about that Susie and Stella were talking about the telling of the stories. And this is what Tim was talking about. This entire Connectathon is very much the telling of the stories, but not a but, and we're not just telling stories of things that have happened to us. We are the stories now. So in being here, we are telling our stories now. This is a story that we're telling now. And to remember that we are authoring this story, but co-authoring. Man, if we were to publish this, we'd have a long list of co-authors. It's just like, but it's being co-authored. And there's no lead author, which is cool because we're doing this together. And this is the power of this. But also to remember, I think, Artie is also reminding us that if we don't do the authoring, somebody will. Right? So how do we show up to author these times together, right? With listening. And that helps us also as Susie was talking about, to find each other. And in finding each other, we find ourselves. That is what I heard also, something that Susie was mentioning. We find ourselves. So I'm going to now move into where we all are sharing. Perhaps I'll put in the Czech plus Delta suggestions here, and then we'll reserve a little bit of time for our closing ritual. Should we do the end of every Connectathon? So it's a ritual that we do it. But I wanted to come back to something that hi Rupen and Paola, and also to recognize that the poetry of this, that with what Jean Kabuta is here with us as well, and the Kasala, and the power of the poetry of the authoring that we do. We are the Kasalas, and that is our being in our life. So really taking a cue from that. And I think all of this, what we're doing for me, is kind of a antidote to the superficiality of our times. The antidote of what Violetta was also talking about coming out of the AI session as well, where people, are leaders of things they have no idea what they're really doing or leading, because they're getting this digested for them in certain ways that they don't actually get. So the superficiality is a real risk for our humanity. And so coming back to something that Susie Cook, I believe, is not here now, but Ferial, I forgot her name wrong. Let me know. But I think it was Susie Cook, right? Susie, right? That's her last name.
Um, Cooper?
That's Suzanne.
Cooper. Thank you.
Susan Cooper, yeah.
Susan Cooper, right. She was talking about the deep, thank you, sorry about that. About the deep listening. And how this involves, about the deep conversations, and involves deep listening, deep ecology, deep dialogue, deep diversity. I love that. And this comes to something Violetta was also calling on us for, to remember that this depth is what we're doing here. The depth, this is the antidote to the superficiality. So these deep aspects, I'm coming up with a new term for myself to listen into because I like the idea of humaning well, but now I'm going to be thinking about deep humaning. What does it mean to engage in deep humaning? How do we human well together, but deep humaning, not superficially? All right. Woofy. Okay. So let me put here into our chat these little frames here, and then we'll just do this go around. And I actually going to take a cue from the Ferial's page of how we do this, and I'll call on people. You raise your hand if you want to go, and then, because I like that the way, Ferial, you did that, we'll move things along. Raise your hand if you want to go, either digitally or I got the whole screen here, and then you can go. And if not, I'll call on people. If I don't see a hand raised, I'll just go with in the order on my screen, which is not probably what's on your screen. And you can either cover all three or just one thing that you want to share, something that you learned, the check, the plus, delta, something that you experience that you're taking with you in your heart, something that you'd like to see change in yourself, in your community, or in this connectathon for next time, right? And it doesn't mean you might the change is something you might want more of, not just less of, or just completely different, or more of the same. Again, change doesn't necessarily mean either positive or negative in a specific way. So, yes, thank you, Kim, for reminding us where we get the four deeps. Powerful, powerful. So who would like to start with their check plus delta or any one of those three? Varial.
So something that Violetta said, community. I for a while now I've been really focused on innovation. I've been having my head down, innovating, and I'm a community person, so I have missed my community. I just being in here now, I am surrounded by others, of course, in community, but there's just so many in my community that I haven't seen for a while, and it's just been really great. I think and I understand seasons, right? I know that there are seasons for doing certain things. And I think what I learned today, again, sitting here, is my season is changing. My season is returning back outward because it was inward for a while to do certain very important work. But I know now I can hand some of that over, because where I really flourish is when I'm meeting with my people. And just being in South Africa, it's been so great. I had this reunion with my family, but I'm talking about family members I've not seen for 40 years, 35 years, things like that. And it was just the heart, it was just crying and tears. And it was like we saw each other, the other day. So what I'm saying is, like, even for many of you here, I haven't seen you in a while. And again, I want to see more. I'm learning that I want more of the connection, of the getting together. Because why do we do this? What is it about? I think it's about community, about love, about togetherness. And yes, there needs to be infrastructure and governance and all the other stuff. But at the heart, it is you and I being able to, as in Africa, we say, sabona each other. I see you. And hopefully you begin to also see me. So that's what I take away from this Connectathon, is that connecting of humans and our hearts. And I pass it back to who wants to go next.
Let me thank you, Ferial, and let me get Yuri in here, who has already left. I think so. But he said in the chat, he said that what I learned is letting go and come, holding space for what wants to emerge from it. And as we talked about also in one of the sessions, distinguishing between letting go and disconnecting. So letting go, but staying connected, right? Who wants to go next?
Right. I'll go. Oh, thank you. And I'm so sorry, Violetta. I have no idea. So I left the laptop on and I thought, everybody talking is going to keep me awake. And then the laptop just went discharged, and then I fell out of bed and I texted you first. So, but otherwise, I think it's been so wonderful. We started this session with so much of laughter. Alexander knows that. It has been, again, enriching. What I've learned, and I would say it's a reminder, because the last Connectathon, thank you so much to Maji. She got John Kabuta in. And this time also, when I was listening to all these conversations, and Kim, you would agree that we've been looking for solutions which are human enough and not external to us. And Kasala is a way that I am discovering. I was seriously dreaming about it, John. It's this poetry of wonderment, of discovery, of description, of expanding, of understanding, of creating that understanding within and around. And I think this is how the veil is lifting for me. So that's my learning, that how do we make it so much simple for us to understand, for everybody to understand, for it to become a sort of a code, because that's missing. That's missing in literally every culture. We do not have the appreciation. We've got only competition. We're just extractive. Even if we want to be good people, our systems are designed in such a way that they're not allowing us to be good enough human beings. So that appreciation, that articulation of, where am I born? What happened when I was born? Where were not just the stars and the moon? How was the river? How was the mountain? How were the trees? What was the season? Like Ariel said. And I think that is just so deep and so beautiful and so real. I've actually, honestly, never ever come across something that solves and that answers for these complex and wicked problems, which was the discussion we initially started with. So my learning is that how do we make Kasala the code? And I think what I would want to sort of do differently, maybe not pack myself in sessions across 24 hours, but at least 12 hours. Because I hated missing this. And Violetta and I, we had like so many discussions about how to drive the whole AI, confusion and what people are doing and what's going wrong and what can go right with it. But nevertheless, I think we're going to have more opportunities to discuss that. But overall, as usual, it's been just so enriching, so enriching. Thank you, everybody who's here on the screen and who's already in Dreamland and who couldn't make it, but sent people like John Kabuta to us. So deep, deep, deep regard and deep gratitude and lots of love to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. We're going to take, I think, maybe 4 or 5, depending on how much, how long we go. But 4 or 5 more contributions. We're not going to go around for everyone, but that's an invitation for the next Connectathon where you'll be able to continue with this. So who would like to go next with the check plus delta? Remember, we only have 4 or 5 more. So, there we go. Jeff, you just joined us though. Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I was moderating a session earlier today on agriculture. It's my first Connectathon, and I just wanted to congratulate everybody. I found it really fascinating. Very different environment than what I'm used to typically, and it was very refreshing. And I popped into a few of the sessions over the 24 hours, exploring subjects that I just don't deal with. I found that really fascinating to see these conversations on those subjects. So thank you very much to everyone involved. I appreciated it. And now I'm going to go and live in the moment. My vegetable garden is calling me.
Excellent.
Thanks a
Gosh,
lot.
we are all each other's vegetable gardens, but yes, I love that. Unfortunately, we get some of the vegetables into our leadership positions, and that's a problem. But all right, Lev, you're next.
Thank you, Alexander. So for me, every Connectathon, and this one is definitely continues the tradition, is a source of inspiration and deep human connection. Despite the fact that we are online, and sometimes we sort of praise in-person interaction, which is of course precious, but coming here, I feel the same depth of experiencing many of us as in quote-unquote real life. And I think it's the quality of our intention and our state of being that despite the distances, despite the electronic sort of connection, it is very, very deeply human. That's first one. The second one, when Alexander spoke, or one of us spoke about, yes, Alexander mentioned this um, about sort of recognizing our humanity, and together with Albert Einstein, right, and another person, I remembered that we are also deeply divine beings, right? And many people talk about this, that with all the challenges we face on the systemic and ecosystemic level, only being human for most people is not enough. Maybe we put into this, into this word much more, but for most people, human has its limitations, so they don't feel the same depth as maybe many of us might see. So the divinity I would bring into the picture, right, the deeper aspect of life itself, because there is certain strength and I would even say power in recognizing that we are more than what appears in our daily life. So connecting this deep humanity with our inborn sort of divinity might be also another aspect to explore in the future in different ways and from really different perspective, of course. And maybe the last point, what I would like to see more of in the future, definitely, and as a person who organizes many different events, I know there is this challenge, but definitely I would like our message and our environment to reach to many, many more people throughout the world. And of course, as Violetta mentioned, that we need execution, we need, very tangible results in addition to our inner and sort of interpersonal space, but to also look for ways to invite other people into this dialogue, etc. And so my idea is that as we now grow the global community within the Living City Source and the global alumni network for Global Mayors Academy, to actually offer Connectathon as one of the features to many people around the world, right, in 10,000 cities eventually, to actually come and connect twice a year with each other and with all the deep wisdom and energy that we share and generate here together. So thank you to all the organizers. It's a very special event. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lev. Beautiful. So now I'm gonna, with the time remaining, suggest the following order. We'll have Kim, and then she suggested that we had listened then from our two poets, Jean Kabuta and Thomas Crow. And with that, we'll move into our final closing ritual. Perhaps with any last reflections from Tim and Violetta before we do that, but we have to be aware of time now because we're running short. So let's keep this concise. Kim?
Hey, thank you, Alexander. I will share this. I shared in one other place here today or yesterday. I don't know what day is it. Now is the right time. The thread continued all the way through. This was the first 4 hours with the awareness, creativity, and action, and the creativity that's in every moment, not just the what we think of as creative, which is great, but just this co-arising creativity in every moment. And the thing about the Connectathon I love is the love and that spaciousness and the energy systems Artie's bringing in, is AI winning that Violetta's bringing in, and because we merge together. So I just think it's a lot of fun, and it really is a playground space. So I'm looking forward to the next equinox. Thank you.
Already. Wonderful. Jean Kabuta, à vous, s'il vous plaît. Il faut que nous t'écoutes parce que il faut que tu mettes ton micro.
Okay,
Voilà.
that's all right. Well, I'm sorry I couldn't follow all the presentations. I was quite tired yesterday and I had to sleep. But must say that I was really delighted, to be present here with you, to meet people from all over the world, to listen and share. And I'm remembering that one of the things I learned when I rediscovered Africa after a long time was that the supreme being, the supreme intelligence, the origin of everything, uh, only sketched the world and man. He only sketched them, and he gave, or she. There's no reason that it should be a man, and they um, uh, gave a human being the responsibility of completing the world and completing themselves. And uh, I'm so delighted to be here because I feel, the presence, the existence of those people who are inspired, who are on this path of contributing to the creation of the world and creation of themselves. And it's very good to feel that you are not alone. And we are here actually, as I feel it, people who carry this sense of responsibility to make, to create a better world, and um, to poeticize life. I don't know whether the verb exists in English, but no, to poeticize, life. Yeah. And I'm very glad, this platform brings together people who are able to hear, to listen to this invitation. So thank you very much for organizing this.
Merci bien, mon cher ami. Thank you so much. Thomas, a few words, and then we'll move to our closing ritual.
Yes, I think one of the things, among many things that have stood out for me in these conversations, just came this morning when Susie talks about slowing down. And in terms of something I'd like to see change, probably more than anything, leading to different changes we need to make is the process of slowing down is necessary. And I'd just like to end with a very short poem, my own, titled The Speed of Life, to share with all of you in thanks and appreciation. Slow down. Where are you going in such a rush? To the supermarket of your last dime? Is the sound of pencil lead on paper too much for your ears? At 50 miles per hour, the butterfly on the rose by the side of the road is as invisible as a wish for the answer to prayers. As you run through your best years, watching the road, faster than the speed of life. So thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody.
Thank you so much. Oh, the beauty. Thank you. What a wonderful idea. Thank you again, Kim, for the suggestion to listen to our poets. Knowing that we all are and can be joining them in the poetry of life. So now we come to the closing ceremony. But I still think we might have a moment for a word or two, if, but literally, not much more, a little bit more from Tim and Violetta for closing. Tim first.
I'll just quickly say that one of the strong threads was community. I think what we will do is we'll bring back our regular meetings we used to have when we started the Connectathon that are not Connectathon. They are community meetings of all who wish to join from whatever community you come from. We'll meet once a week and we'll take the conversation where it goes, and that'll start happening maybe in 2 weeks' time. But we'll chat about that later. But wonderful. That's me. I am complete.
Violetta.
What to say at the end? I wouldn't propose any conclusion, but maybe deeply sensed experience, some sort of undeniable shift, if I can put it this way. Probably you know what I feel. A sense that when we slow down, listen really deeply, trust ourselves, and meet each other with an open heart, soul, and mind, something larger than us begins to move through us and forward, opening up spaces for all of us to walk that path that we somehow co-created. And maybe that is the essence of triability that we talk about so many times. Really that sense. Something that we gave a permission from deep ourselves to emerge. So I hope we'll continue in that spirit and looking forward to the next one in fall.
Oh, so perfect, so beautiful. I have the sense, this is something that Stella said earlier. I have the sense that you are speaking me, that we are speaking me. I'm being spoken into being by all that is happening and going on here. That's beautiful. And so now, again, as to go with it's not the best person to quote, but it's a nice quote from Winston Churchill, who says, this is not the end. This is not even the beginning of the end, but perhaps it is the end of the beginning. It is not even the beginning anymore. We are so into this. So this is, somebody remind me again, what number? This is I think our sixth or seventh Connectathon? Seventh. Yo. It's our seventh Connectathon, right? So that's that. Fourth, whoop.
Fourth year.
Fourth year, right? Fourth year, seventh Connectathon. So, hey, we're in the flow, not just like at the edges of it. We're in the flow. So I want to also pick up on something that Paula, mil gracias por lo que pusiste. That's very nice and very inspirational, that quote, because now I think that leads us beautifully into this last exploration here, which is the field that is expanding, the energies that we bring to this, the energies that connect. These are much bigger than us individually, right? And the field arises in us, through us, with us. And this indeed is the spirit of Ubuntu as well, but it's not more than just a concept. This is actually being confirmed by physics as well, in terms of the entanglement, and again, what I think Theodore Holmes Nelson expresses it so much nicer in terms of intertwinglement. But we are intertwingling. So let's continue that. So here's the closing ceremony, just in time, our last minute here. So what we'll do, so we'll turn on our mics and we'll step back if you can, again, if you're appropriately attired. And we step back and we're going to start low down with a low sound, reaching low and holding our ball of intention that we have all created, and a ball of love and a ball of all the things that we've learned and brought to this Connectathon. Start low with a low sound, and together as we raise the ball, we will be raising our sound, and we'll release it with a great yell so that it surrounds us and all of Gaia until the next Connect-a-thon. We're good? All right, positions, everybody. Here we go. Start low, low sound. Ready? Let's go. Yeah. Woohoo! Ow! All right, we did it. We've launched again another beautiful Connect-a-thon until the next equinox. Be well, stay strong, human excellently with each other, and we'll see you next time and in between. Tim is going to get those conversations going, so stay tuned. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Cheers, everyone.
Bye.
Oh, bye. Thank you, everyone.